So we've disconnected from the towing vehicle, and first thing we need to do is just level up the caravan with the jockey wheel. So this little level will be in the red bag over here. Just try and get the level right on the jockey wheel, wind it up or wind it down until it's right. If it's not level this way, you can use this ramp. So you've got to reverse one of the wheels up onto it and then chock the wheel on the opposite side. And then that should get you pretty level this way. So once that's pretty good, got this brace for the stabilizer legs. You pull out that clip, down it goes. And then just wind it until you've got a bit of tension on this. So they're not to level the caravan, they're just to give it some stability. So don't try to jack it up with these things, they're not built for that. This goes back in. Next step, we'll open up the back. We'll just undo all these clips. I've already opened this one. These clips here are all out. The wheels drop. This wheel carrier here drops as well. Drop, right? Open up these latches. This comes up. These doors open out. Some more latches up here. Pop that off, them open. Sometimes this needs a little top. Might be alright. There's some more latches up here at the back now to lift this part, which I can do from here. Sometimes it's easier to get somebody on the inside to do it for you. Go. Take a little top here. Back up. Next step is the top, off the top. So I've undone some of these. So there's an oar clip on each one of these. Take it out, open up the latch. All four corners. The only one I haven't done yet. So I'll pull that out. Put that back in there. Stop that there now. So all four oar clips are off around on the outside. The next step is to lift the roof from in here. So we've got this bar that you have to push up. We tend to do this with the two of us. I'll just lift the bar and Marie will put her hand on the ceiling and give it a little bit of help up because it can be quite heavy. But I'll just do it by myself here this time. Pop the front one first and then the back goes up a lot easier. And that's it up. Right, so next step is the awning. So that pole is in there. Just hook it into that. And these legs just pop out from here. Just tighten it up at that height for now. It's quite windy here today, so it's not ideal to show it, but we can do this anyway. Just extend out those legs fully. Watch the arms. Once the arms get to their full distance like that, you see the canvas goes a bit slack. Just wipe it back in a touch. It's got a bit of tension. And adjust these legs. Just going to leave it a little bit long because it is quite windy here. Just going to put that back in. Okay, so come around to this side of the van and we've got 240 volt power. That's 15 amps, so you're on a powered site, you plug in there, or when you're at home. This here is for your water. The one on the right is for mains, so you just need a male tap fitting to screw onto that, and then your hose goes straight into that, turn on the tap, and it'll pressurize all the water in the whole system. The one on the left is for the tanks that are underneath. There's 240 litres of tanks below the caravan, so you just push the hose into that and just fill the tanks up. There's a gauge inside on the control panel and it will tell you the overall amount of water that's in the tanks. 240 litres is quite a bit. What's that? This one here is for your external shower, and there's a key that is labelled external shower. This one. Okay, very dusty in here as well. So, there's that fitting for the tap. So basically that just pulls up, hangs on here. You've got hot and cold water. That's a really good shower that is as well. This here is for the gas. So when we want to heat the water in the tanks, you open this up, drop it down. Inside there is a pilot light. So sometimes if you're getting a lot of wind coming in directly at it, the pilot light will struggle to light. Some people tend to kind of leave this door a little bit like that and just tie it on here. But you need to get a bit of air into that pilot light anyway. Once that's open, when you want to heat your water, you can just come down here, Marie. There's a yellow isolator just here. So you just have to open that. That's in the closed position, just turn it that way. That allows the gas to run from the hot water system through. You just come with me here, Marie. Go back inside the caravan. And this is the dial for the hot water. So turn it up for 60 degrees, turn it down for 70 degrees. 60 is usually enough for us anyway. Before you do that, you'd want to have the pump switched on the control panel, which I'll explain in a minute. And it takes maybe about 15 or 20 minutes to heat up the water, and then you can have a warm shower. This one here is for the diesel heater. So when you want to turn that on, just press this heating button. You see a light comes on it, and then you'll hear the fan actually going. The heat comes out of just here, so you kind of hear the whole thing kick it in, and off it goes. It heats the van up quite quick, so we tend to only leave it on for 10 minutes if it's a really cold night. Okay, so this is the control panel for the power. So turn this on. It gives you a gauge on how your batteries are going. So that's 12.5 volts, 80%. Gives you a percentage up there as well. And you've got roof light that just activates all the lights around the roofs of the van. DVD will switch on the radio and TV over there, I think. Bathroom light does the bathroom light, obviously, and a couple of other bits around the outside of the van. The USBs will activate all of the little fans that are around the place and all of the 12 volt connectors inside the van if you want to charge your phone. The pump, obviously, that pressurizes the water in the system from the tanks, so you need to turn that on if you want to heat your water, or if you want to use this sink that's in the kitchen, or to flush the toilet. So if we're off grid, you want to be trying to conserve this power as much as you can, so we'd only tend to leave on the things that we're using fairly frequently. The pump stays on quite a bit because once that's pressurized, it's not really drawing that much power unless you start using the water, so that could stay on, but just try to be conservative with the power, especially at night time. The solar will generate during the day on a nice sunny day, but when you're off grid for a couple of days, you'll notice that those batteries go down pretty quick, so you got to be careful of that. You can't let those batteries go below 50% either, because they're damaging the batteries at that stage. The next thing is the battery charger and the inverter, which is located under the bed. Stay on here as well. So this one here is the battery charger. So when you're plugged into your mains power and you want to top up those batteries, you turn this battery charger on here and you'll see the light coming on. It's important if you're staying on a powered site, to knock that thing off once the batteries are full, because if you keep on pumping power into those batteries, you can potentially cook them. So it's better off. You'll hear that thing humming as well, so you don't want to be listening to that at night time. But it's important just to not leave that on any longer than it needs to be. And this is the inverter, so that will change the power in the batteries to 240 volt for various appliances around the van. If you're off grid for a few days and you're using that, it's going to suck quite a lot of juice, so it's better to try and avoid it if it's possible. Okay, so when you're using the toilet, you need to open up this flap first. Do what you got to do. Press this button here, and that lets the water run down and just rinses down the bowl. Just let that flow into the cassette down below. Just leave it open just for a minute and then close it. So this is the toilet cassette. This is how you go about emptying it. So once you're finished camping, most caravan parks will have a dump point. Go there with the cassette to empty it. If you're somewhere that's off grid and doesn't have a dump point, you need to find one on your way home. So Wiki Camps or any of them will tell you where to find them. So pull this thing out. Bring it to the dump point. Then you take this cap here off, lift it up, pour it down, and there's a little air release hole here. You just press that, everything will come out of it. There's usually a hose there. So once you have all that out of it, just rinse it with a load of water, empty it again, give it a few rinses. And we have these tablets then, once you've done that. They're usually located here. So you need to just pop one of them into the cassette and put a bit more water in on top of it, just a couple of 100 milliliters of water, and then that just keeps the cassette clean for the next person using it. Important to do that. And then once you're done, slide her back in there. And that's it. So here's the kitchen. Put these latches. Set legs underneath it. They pop down like that and just help take the weight of the kitchen. So lift it up a little bit just so it serves its level. Once you have that around the slippery, flexi hose for the gas. A little bit sharp, this thing. Just pops in here. It's actually under pressure from the gas being on, but that goes in there. And we've got this flexi hose which can be stored in that front toolbox. We can just pop that on the kitchen waste, just here. If you're in a campsite, you can just let that run down a drain or into a bucket if you need to worry about your grey water or whatever. So whenever you wash your dishes, it's just going to plug that hose. And you've got your kitchen, the 4-burner, got the wind flaps for it there as well, and your drying rack. In here you've got some, supposed to be some plates in there, but there will be plates in that. Got cutlery in that one. This one here has pots and pans. Okay, I'll quickly do a demonstration of this hitch. So this is the DO35, that's the pin. So obviously that's going to be attached to the back of your towing vehicle. So you reverse it in underneath it, try to get it as close as you can, and then drop the jockey wheel on it until you can see that pin coming up through. And you hit that red button and that locks it solid. Then you know you've got a good connection on it. And this cap here then will clip on over that. and then you know that you're solid there. That's how that works. Then to undo it, it's obviously the opposite way. Just push down that red button, push that back, and then use the jockey wheel to get off it.